A news alert. New tonight, the lawyers for James Holmes admitting to their client's guilt in court documents and claiming he was in a psychotic episode the night of the Aurora Theater shooting.
And we start with the 24/7 weather alert. New video just in from a Colorado Springs Gazette reporter showing the view from inside his car when mud and floodwater came rushing down Highway 24 west of Colorado Springs. Heavy rains hitting the Waldo Canyon burn scar. This is the second time this summer. More than 20 cars caught in the high water and mud.
7 News with team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson tracking the severe weather all afternoon. But we start with 7 News reporter Mark Stewart live near Cave of the Winds, where all that water came rushing down. Mark?
Mike, first the fire and then the rain. Take a look below. You can see Fountain Creek has started to recede, but not after a massive mudstorm took over the roads. The might of the mud is so strong, it sent this car sailing down Highway 24. The aftermath of when water saturates the landscape, burned by a wildfire.
My car just got swept off the side of Highway 24.
A Colorado Springs newspaper reporter keeps a video log as his own car is swept away in the muddy floodwaters. Fortunately, he is safe.
My car smashed and bounced off of a cliff and a few other things.
The survival stories are plenty.
It hit us like a wall.
Christine Hensley was on Highway 24 when her car started spinning out of control.
So a wall of water came over us and blinded our view.
What happened here today wasn't without warning. The road trucks will always be on standby. As people here know, this muddy mess could easily happen again.
I'm stuck in a rut right now.
And the preparation here is constant all across Manitou Springs. You'll see these sandbags because this is the second time this summer this has happened. There is some good news to report. Despite that whole mudstorm, no one was hurt. We are live in Manitou Springs tonight. Mark Stewart, 7 News.
Here's more video from Colorado Springs Gazette reporter John Schroyer as his car was being swept away in today's flash flooding. You can see his windows get covered in mud. The car forced off the road, and at one point, he actually opens up the window. You can hear the rushing water on the other side of the door. Again, Schroyer was able to get to higher ground safely.
Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson tracking the storms all afternoon from the 24/7 Weather Center.
And check out the rain totals. There's over an inch in the upper Waldo Canyon area. That's the drainage above where all of this occurred. And generally a third to a half an inch of rain. This is going to happen every time we get a strong thunderstorm in this area throughout the rest of the summer. This is what it looked like on time lapse down to the south. And this is what it looked like on radar between 2 and 5 o'clock. Watch right in here as the thunderstorms come through. Then you see the flash flood warning areas, both Waldo Canyon and Black Forest. Now, at the present time, it's pretty much all over. There's a couple of light little showers down near Pikes Peak, but otherwise it's quiet there, quiet in the Denver area. We've had a few showers up in the northeast corner of the state, but statewide, most of the thunderstorm activity is now exiting Colorado, moving off into Kansas. You can see it on the satellite picture. To the west, there's a break over western Colorado, the moisture decreasing a little bit. There's some in Arizona, but what's really down there? Hot temperatures. It's still 101 degrees at Las Vegas, and this bubble of hot air is coming back for the next couple of days. I'll have all the details in your 7-day.
And now pictures from the Black Forest burn area getting hit by heavy rain today. 7 News viewer Loretta Milo sharing this video showing the water flowing through her backyard. Evergreen hit with the wall of rain as well. Ben Hazlitt using the 7 News app to send us this video, the rain pouring down the steps outside his home, hail also covering his deck, most of it about pea-sized. Now, the Storm Shield app can alert you before the storm hits with alerts sent right to your phone. You can also track live radar and be ahead of our summer monsoons. The app available for iPhones and Androids.
A news alert tonight. For the first time, an admission. Attorneys for James Holmes revealed in a written filing with the courts that he committed the acts at the Century 16 Theater nearly a year ago. 7 News reporter Marshall Zellinger tracking those new developments tonight. Marshall?
In this court filing, Mike, the attorneys for James Holmes are making at least one argument for why he shouldn't be harnessed during the trial. And in this one argument, for the first time, Holmes, through his attorneys, admits that he committed the acts on July 20th, 2012, the shootings that could result in his own death. Attorneys for James Holmes want him to sit without restraints during his projected 4-month trial next year. In a previous order, the judge ruled Holmes will not be in handcuffs or shackles. Instead, he will wear a harness under his clothing, which will not be visible to the jury. In a filing posted today, Holmes' attorneys argue that he's not a danger to the safety of the courtroom and should not be restrained. In making that argument, his attorneys reveal for the first time Holmes admits to the killings. Quote, Mr. Holmes suffers from a severe mental illness and was in the throes of a psychotic episode when he committed the acts that resulted in the tragic loss of life and injuries sustained by moviegoers on July 20th, 2012.
It's not surprising. We've all known since he pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, that they were going to admit the acts.
Legal analyst Dan Reck believes the defense team is simply being honest with the judge. The defense telling the judge Holmes should not be restrained because he had no criminal history prior to a shooting that was the result of a mental illness.
They're not going to dispute who did this. The question's going to be, was Holmes psychotic and therefore was he insane?
Today, the judge in this ruling giving the defense a bit of a tongue lashing, saying that the court remains confident that the order to keep those restraints hidden on James Holmes will in no way interfere with any of Holmes's constitutional rights. Reporting live, Marshall Zellinger, 7 News.
New information in the murder case against Austin Sigg. These are file sketches of the teenager in court. Our partners at the Denver Post saying the judge will allow the defense to introduce expert testimony about adolescent brain development, but that testimony cannot discuss the mental state of Austin Sigg. He, of course, is accused of the kidnapping and killing of 10-year-old Jessica Ridgway last October. The topic brings up the possibility of a defense claim that he has mental illness. Sigg's trial is set to begin in September.
And now breaking news, country music star Randy Travis in critical condition tonight after suffering a stroke while in surgery. This is file of Travis from one of his many music videos. According to his publicist, the 54-year-old was being treated for congestive heart failure and was in a Texas hospital undergoing surgery to relieve pressure on his brain when he suffered that stroke. The publicist asking for prayers and support. And new tonight, survivors of Asiana Flight 214 returning to the wreckage. Still at San Francisco International Airport, the survivors bust in for a private vigil. And today, the South Korean crew making a brief appearance, one still in a wheelchair. The crew only saying they hope families are recovering. The NTSB now saying the pilot told flight attendants not to evacuate, and it wasn't until 90 seconds later when one saw flames that the doors of the Boeing 777 were opened. But 2 of the slides opened inside the plane, pinning flight attendants. The pilot speaking to investigators today saying he was temporarily blinded by a light 500 feet before landing, but it's unclear where that light came from.
A news alert. A lead group of Colorado County sheriffs dropping their request for an injunction against the new gun control legislation here, specifically the part that limits the size of ammunition magazines. The group is asking the Attorney General's office to redraft guidance on how to enforce that new law. However, there is still an active lawsuit over Colorado's new gun laws, as well as concerns about universal background checks. The Call 7 investigators uncovering why it took so long to charge this woman, Almeda Sullivan, with murder in connection with prescription drug fraud. Call 7 investigator Teresa Marchetta finding out this case could have been tried years ago.
Arapahoe County Sheriff Grayson Robinson tells me his officers first brought the case to former District Attorney Carol Chambers, whose office didn't move forward. That's one reason Sullivan is only now being charged for a death that occurred at her home back in 2011. But as the years passed, we found she continued to obtain illegal prescriptions, and all along the state had the data to prove it. The Prescription Drug Monitoring Program, or PDMP, tracks controlled substances in Colorado. Pharmacies enter the information when filling prescriptions. When investigators ran 5 names, Almeda Sullivan, her alleged victim, and 3 others she's accused of providing drugs to, they found this: hundreds of Opana prescriptions, among the strongest narcotics from 2007 through 2011, totaling more than 21,000 pills. That's not including the hundreds Sullivan allegedly purchased. During those same 5 years, the deaths allegedly connected to Sullivan were adding up. 19-year-old Sierra Cochran died of an overdose in Sullivan's home in January of 2008. 28-year-old Lindsay Jo Sadie and 20-year-old Tez Szymanskis died the following month. Yet Sullivan continued to obtain prescriptions. In October of 2011, 21-year-old Carter Higdon, whose murder Sullivan is charged with, also dies in her home. Is there a way to use this data differently?
Yes. Well, you know, that question was raised when the bill was passed.
Senator Irene Aguilar is also a physician who relies on the PDMP.
It works well if physicians use it.
She says it's the physician's responsibility to look for red flags of fraud or abuse before writing prescriptions, but admits they're not required to, and says lawmakers are hesitant to force the issue.
It was really hard even to get it passed in the format in which we passed it. There are a lot of people very concerned about civil liberty violations.
So physicians have an enormous amount of discretion here. But here's the problem. I've learned as of June, fewer than 30% of licensed physicians even have PDMP accounts, and that doesn't guarantee they're checking them before writing those painkiller prescriptions. I'm Call 7 investigator Teresa Marchetta.
And now to a fire alert. The governor formally requesting a presidential disaster declaration for El Paso and Fremont counties. The request says the Black Forest fire cost the county more than $11 million, and the Royal Gorge fire caused almost $27 million in damage. Now, Cruze battling two new fires in Larimer County. Both are in the National Forest between Carter Lake and Estes Park. Hell Canyon fire believed to be 5 to 7 acres, a helicopter dropping water there this afternoon. The Pole Hole fire only about 1 acre, and then two fires near Trinidad, only 3 miles apart, both near Fisher's Peak. In total, they've burned about 40 acres. All 4 fires believed to be caused by lightning.
Right now, another look from Air Tracker 7. The cleanup's still underway after the Waldo Canyon burn scar gets hit again with heavy rain, sending rain and mud pushing cars along on Highway 24. Larimer County on alert for similar flooding in the High Park burn area. In 5 minutes, 7 News discovering how a mouse is delaying funding to rehab the area and prevent future flooding.
Also, 7 News there as more than 100 dogs are checked out in an Adams County hoarding case. The new developments next.
Plus, new at 10, the delicate move to bring these tiny patients to their new home.
And a deputy's quick actions that saved the life of a choking child.
Cool cars and hot deals. Makes a great first car. Chevy Cavalier LS. Sale price $29.95. 4-cylinder automatic, safety inspected, and emissions tested. It won't last. Open 9 to 9 daily. Go fishing in this Ford F-150 Super Crew 4x4. Sale price $99.95. Enjoy FX4 off-road package, sunroof, running boards, and premium wheels. It's quite a catch. Summer savings at Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal.
Get the best deal in town on windows and siding with KMGH Home Solutions, guaranteed.
Right now, buy 4 windows, get the next 2 free. If it's siding you need, save 33%. Start your project today and make no payments or interest till 2015.
We have the best products, certified installers to do the work right the first time, and no hidden costs.
Plus, to help ease the pain of high gas prices, we'll give you free gas for the entire summer with a full house installation of windows or siding.
Call KMGH today and fill up with free gas for the summer.
Of course, corporations want to outlaw labor unions. They always hated them, just like corporations hate Social Security, Medicare, or anything which raises their cost. Insurance corporations are corporations which like to collect automobile or workers' compensation insurance premiums, but they don't like to pay claims. If they victimized you, contact me, Brian Moore, at 377-5959. I fought these people for 43 years, and they don't frighten me.
When you need a car, truck or man, who you gonna call? AutoNation!
Welcome.
Pray tell, if I buy carpet for the Great Hall, I can get carpet for 2 more rooms for free?
Yes, Your Majesty. It's Empire Today's buy one, get 2 free sale.
So I can get free hardwood floor for the ladies' chamber?
Buy flooring with installation for 1 room, get flooring for 2 additional rooms free.
And free laminate for the dungeon?
You betcha.
'Tis most splendid!
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today.
Caught on surveillance video, a frantic mom with her 2-year-old choking on a piece of candy. She was in the lobby of a county jail in Evansville, Indiana, and that's a deputy who comes in and takes over to save the choking boy. And even though he's been a deputy for 20 years, he says he's never had this happen before. The little boy is okay, and the mom calling the deputy their hero. 7 News confirming the Adams County Sheriff's Office is investigating after deputies rescued more than 120 dogs from this home north of Watkins. 7 News there as some of the dogs were checked out today. They were found living in filth. The Denver Dumb Friends League removing matted fur by the pound.
They've been living basically in their own feces and urine, so they're covered with that. And when hair like that gets matted, it actually traps in heat and can overheat a dog, and it actually is very detrimental to their health.
The rescue and recovery effort's so big, half of the dogs are at the Adams County Animal Shelter.
A Target shopper in Lakewood is shaken but okay tonight after a man tried to sexually assault her and then stole her truck. Good Samaritans got involved and she got away as he drove off. The man was stopped near the Utah border, and after a confrontation with officers, he was shot and killed.
Had he been successful in taking her somewhere else, it could have been a very tragic ending to this whole story for her.
The really good news in this story is that other people cared enough to do the right thing.
Suspect's identity still hasn't been released by Grand Junction authorities or the State Patrol. Colorado Congressman Ed Perlmutter proposing a bill to give marijuana businesses more access to banking services. You see, right now, banks are in violation of federal drug laws if they allow marijuana-based businesses to use their services. Perlmutter's bill would allow such businesses to legally have full bank services available.
And new attend the tiniest, most fragile babies moving to a new hospital space. Babies like little Miles here, who wasn't supposed to come into the world until August. He's been at Denver's Presbyterian St. Luke's intensive care nursery for 7 weeks in what's become cramped yet cozy quarters.
I've grown to like being able to see all the nurses around, and it's a really nice environment and atmosphere. So I've gotten used to that, but definitely I think it'll be great to have the private rooms.
60 babies will have a clinical team move each of them to the new NICU. It's about a 10-minute walk through the back hallways. The old space, about 10,000 square feet. The new one, 50,000.
New at 10. 7 News is asking questions about the federal response after the devastating High Park fire. Specifically, why is it taking so long to get federal help to rehabilitate the burn area and avoid even more destruction from flash flooding? 7 News reporter Lindsay Sablon finding it's a combination of red tape and a mouse.
Water gushing from Risk Creek Friday night. 15 minutes earlier, a different view, showing how quickly the threat increased. We've learned Larimer County officials hope to do fire mitigation in April, but the process for federal funding has been challenging.
It has taken 2 or 3 months to get down through whatever that federal process is.
Last year, the water providers paid for ground seeding themselves out of fear money from the feds would take too long to get. In March, Congress finally approved $10 million to Larimer County fire recovery. But the money didn't arrive until mid-June and has been stuck at the Natural Resources Conservation Service since.
Now we're going through the process of contracts, environmental and cultural clearances that are needed.
Mitigation in the Skin Gulch area needs to be done to prevent debris like this from flowing downstream and possibly undercutting Highway 14. But the project has been put on hold, all because of the Preble's mouse.
We need to understand how our work may or may not affect the mouse habitat.
That's one part of the $7.3 million project. So why the delay on mulching?
Local entities can't sign a contract until they have the funds. Funds didn't come until mid-June.
John Andrews says it typically takes 90 days from the time they receive the money until work starts. We asked if the delay could have a negative impact.
I don't think this 3 to 6 month lag has put us behind. We don't have a lot of data on recovering from this kind of a fire, so we're really operating kind of in the learn as we go.
Lindsay Sablon, 7 News.
Now here's a picture of the mouse we've been talking about, protected in Colorado by the Endangered Species Act, preventing landscape maintenance without federal guidance. 7 News continuing to track a weather alert after floodwaters and mud sending drivers off the road and on the search for higher ground.
Air Tracker 7 shooting this video this afternoon after flooding covered Highway 24, and our chief meteorologist Mike Nelson updating us all afternoon.
Mike, this is going to be a problem for the rest of the summer, isn't it?
And maybe for years to come until we really get some new growth in that area to hold the soil. We're going to continue to have those mudslides every time there's heavy rain in the area. Fortunately, it's almost completely out of the state now. That's what's left of the watch. It's shrinking down across Kansas. Elsewhere in Colorado, it is quiet tonight. Take you up to Aspen for a little change of pace. Wildflower season, beautiful conditions up near the Maroon Bells, as well as in Steamboat. Larry Pierce sending in some just lovely shots. Great time of year to get up into the Colorado high country. Numbers today, 91 and 58. 89, 58 of the normals. 99 is the record high temperature. Right now it's 77 downtown, 71 at the airport. Humidity's up a little bit with those storms off to the east, and the winds are from the south-southeast at 12. Here's your 24-hour plan of those storms begin to dry up. More sun is on the way, and the heat is going to start to soar once again. Your 7-day shows 90s all the way through the weekend, and then a bit of a change coming up by early next week. But for tonight, storms are done, and it's going to be very mild overnight. Low temperatures will stay in the 60s under a mostly clear sky over the metro area. Upper 40s to low 50s expected just to the west. Across the Front Range by morning, down to 60 at Fort Collins and Greeley. Should be mid-40s up in the Grand County area and mostly low 60s out on the plains. And tomorrow is going to be a quieter day as some drier air begins to work back into the state. So between 7 a.m. and noon, not much activity, maybe just a few things trying to spark over the mountains to the west. By 2:30 in the afternoon, a few scattered showers developing, but nothing like we had today. And through 5 o'clock, just a slight chance of storms. It's going to be hot, though. Temperatures up into the 90s over most of the lower elevations, looking at 70s over the higher terrain. Statewide overnight tonight, a comfortable night in the mountains with lows in the 40s. Warm out west, 67 degrees at Grand Junction, and upper 50s to mid 60s expected on the plains. Tomorrow, not as much moisture around. There will be some scattered thunderstorms over the mountain areas. Not very much expected on the eastern plains tomorrow, and temperatures start to soar once again. 95 at Grand Junction, 98 at Lamar. Leadville, a cool spot with 77 degrees. Jet stream flow over the next couple of days. We begin to see this big ridge develop once again as the strongest winds, the storm track, go well to the north of us. This big bubble of hot, dry air means that we won't see much in the way of thunderstorm activity, a lot of hot air, but by later on this weekend, on the backside of it, some of that monsoon flow will start to come in, and that may increase our rain chances a little bit, but not for Thursday or Friday. Just a few storms tomorrow. I don't think much of anything on Friday at 98 degrees. Weekend is hot with a few storms Saturday, drier Sunday, and then that monsoon flow starts to come in by early next week and may drop the temperatures, bring us a better chance of rain. And the only downside on that is when that rain falls on burn scars.
Burn scars, exactly. All right, thanks very much, Mike.
Head to the mountains to cool off, huh?
Yeah, and look at those flowers.
Definitely.
That'd be good.
Thanks. A news alert: the Boston bombing suspect makes a first court appearance. His actions in court next.
Plus, how this lemonade stand helping in the fight against cancer.
24/7 Weather is brought to you by OzoneAware.org, where you can calculate your ozone impact and learn more, because every choice you make to reduce ozone pollution matters.
7 News Now, real-time news.
New information just into 7 News Now. The crash landing in San Francisco. The cabin manager now says 2 evacuation slides inflated inside the cabin.
Watch 7 News Now, weekdays at 4:30.
This portion of 7 News is brought to you by Keystone. Visit Keystone for festivals like the Blue Ribbon Bacon Tour, Bluegrass and Beer, kids events, and more. Rates from $99 per night. Book today at KeystoneResort.com.
We change people's lives so that they have the financial ability to pay for their medical bills. It's what it's really all about, is changing these people's lives for the better.
BergSimpson.com. Call 303-790-2525.
Sure, Walmart has some low prices, but King Soopers has low prices and great weekly specials. Fresh local produce and quality meat and seafood. Faster, friendly checkout and personalized coupons. Plus fuel points to save at the pump. It's an easy choice because compared to Walmart, you get more at King Soopers.
Buy 1 pack of boneless center-cut pork loin chops and get 1 free. And large Hass avocados are 10 for $10. Great food, low prices at King Soopers.
CenturyLink has up to 40 meg high-speed internet.
Yep.
And it's just $29.95 a month for 5 years, guaranteed.
Yep.
That beats cable.
Yep. And there's no term contract.
Oh, nice.
Call CenturyLink at 800-996-2565 to get up to 40 meg high-speed internet for $29.95 a month for 5 years when you bundle with unlimited nationwide calling.
That's it, I'm switching.
My work here is done.
Hello, I'm Mike Sawaya. My firm has been doing Social Security cases for 36 years. My partner, Katie McClure, is the chair of the Colorado Bar Association Disability Law Section.
On your own, you have a high probability of your claim being denied. If you are disabled, give us a call. You need a law firm with a very high success rate. You need us. There are no fees until we win your case. Call us at 303-GOOD-LAW or visit us on the web at sawayalaw.com.
I'm Jay, inventor of the cutting place. This amazing cutting board has its own sink, its own disposal, its own water. We've cut away the front for easy access, and it's the perfect height for cutting. Do you really want to add some convenience and function to your kitchen? Well, here it is, the cutting place. The good stuff goes here, the waste to the disposal or compost bin. It's the first big thing to happen to the kitchen since the microwave.
Call now for your free in-home showing of the cutting place. 303-835-9972.
Hello? Hola?
Recess is back. Take a break with a $1.99 small McCafe smoothie or frappe, like the delicious chocolate chip frappe. More joy to love.
Seven News Now, your #1 choice for early morning news.
Storm Shield, powered by 24/7 weather, alerts you before the storm. From first alerts to our 7-day planner, Storm Shield shows you what's happening in your neighborhood, preparing you for what's next so you can keep your family safe. Download Storm Shield, powered by 24/7 weather.
A news alert. Court sketches showing the Boston Marathon bombing suspect making his first court appearance. Zohar Tsarnaev wearing an orange jumpsuit, pleading not guilty. His arm still in a cast. Witnesses saying he appeared almost bored during the hearing, even throwing kisses to his sisters in the courtroom. Tsarnaev could face the death penalty. In Florida, the defense resting its case today in the George Zimmerman trial. Zimmerman not taking the stand. He's on trial for the shooting death of Trayvon Martin. Attorneys for both sides using a dummy today to reenact the struggle leading up to the shooting. Florida prosecutors planning to call 2 rebuttal witnesses before the Zimmerman case is then sent on to the jury.
Michael Loomer and his friends doing some work on their summer break. Michael survived cancer of his spine. He's in the yellow shirt there. And now he's helping raise money for cancer research for the organization Alex's Lemonade Stand.
The main goal is to completely eliminate all childhood cancer. So it means a lot to me to be able to be a part of that.
Michael and his friends were hoping to raise $2,000 through their efforts today.
Good evening. Welcome to sports. The Broncos talking with the NFL about the punishment coming down on executives Matt Russell and Tom Heckert. Heckert's blood alcohol level was .162 the night he was arrested in Parker. That's twice the legal limit. Matt Russell was .246. That's triple it. They'll both be fined and suspended. I talked to a Broncos player today and a former player. Both said this will have no effect on the players as they get ready for training camp. Rocks and Padres tonight. Tulo and Dexter Fowler could be activated tomorrow. Todd Helton was active tonight. Ripped up the middle, base hit. DJ LeMahieu racing home. He scored, but Cuddy got out at third. But right now, it's 4-2 Rockies in the 6th inning. The Nuggets made it official. Got Randy Foye from the Jazz in a sign and trade, and they signed J.J. Hickson. Both players at Pepsi Center tomorrow, along with Gatsby, for some Q&A. Hickson and Foye, At this time, LeBron James, Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and Tony Parker have not signed with the Nuggets. All right, at Littleton High School today, day 1 of the Demarius Thomas Eric Decker Pro Camp. Over 240 kids taking part, and 7 News proud to be a sponsor here. Demarius was like a kid himself. He played, caught passes, threw passes. He was totally into it. He brought out some kids, some veterans and soldiers, and gave them all a signed number 88 jersey. I talked with DT about the impact he could have on these youngsters.
A kid might go home and say, Mom, Dad, I met Demarius Thomas today, and that really means a lot to him. That you can make a difference in a kid's life.
I think so. You know, it ain't just about, you know, coming out for a football camp. I think you come out here, you meet some kids, and all you got to do is talk to some of them, and you know, you might change their life from there. And that's what I try to do. I try to talk to everybody and see how is they having fun or not. But that's the main thing. You know, you come out here, you try to talk to them. You never know you can change somebody's life.
Well, CU's in bad financial shape. The Denver Post reporting tonight, interim athletic director Seal Barry wants each program to cut 10% of its spending budget for the next year. The athletic department has a $7.5 million shortfall. Oops. Most of that is from paying off fired coaches. Oops. Buff's still in search of a new AD. When we come back, Kevin Pierce was once a champion snowboarder at X Games. Now he's just lucky to be alive. That story next on 7 Sports.
Summer's here at Elitch Gardens, and it's so flippin' fun at the park that's always #1. A coaster for Jenny, a tower for Tommy, a big slide for Daddy, a day off for Mommy. Now, for a limited time, everyone can pay like a kid. All tickets are kid-priced when you purchase online at elitchgardens.com. That's a savings of $14. So bring the whole family to Elitch Gardens Theme and Water Park. Pay like a kid, save $14. Limited time only at elitchgardens.com.
They say you can't buy happiness. I got it for a bargain. Since we left CenturyLink and switched to Xfinity, we get 13 times the internet speed without paying more. That's a big deal, especially for the one paying the bills. Now everyone can do what they want, all at the same time.
And way faster.
One big happy family.
More doesn't have to cost more. Switch to Xfinity from Comcast for $99 a month for 12 months with no term contract and HD DVR service free for 6 months. Plus, our fastest wireless gateway is now available. Call 1-800-XFINITY.
If an airbag offers you protection, imagine how much better protected you'd be with 10. The Chevrolet Cruze, no car in its class, offers you more airbags, and it has a 5-star overall vehicle score for safety. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Next, please. It's going to be $12 or $6, you guys. Or?
Okay, are you pranking me or something?
You'd be surprised how many people actually choose to pay more. You're probably paying too much for your wireless bill right now. You know, if you switch to Cricket, you can get unlimited plans for half the price of AT&T and Verizon. And you can do more with the money you save every month.
More movie dates?
You've made a wise choice. Puppy Love is a fine film.
Really?
Yeah.
Looks terrible.
It's my favorite movie. So many layers.
Switch to Cricket, get a great plan, and save $200 in the Samsung Galaxy S4. See how half really is more at Cricket.
The magic is back. The joint is jumping. Undeniably exciting and fun. You can't help but dance in the aisles. Direct from Broadway, Barry Manilow is bringing his sold-out, critically acclaimed concert from New York's Great White Way to Red Rocks Amphitheater on July.
Every inch, every minute, every second, we chip away at redefining capability for whatever days may come, like beach days, rainy days, even vacation days. Made with pride, crafted with passion. This is the new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It is the best of what we're made of. Well-qualified lessees can lease the 2014 Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for $359 a month.
Story idea? Contact the Call 7 investigators through email or go to thedenverchannel.com.
Kevin Pierce is back in town, the champion X Games snowboarder, signing autographs downtown at the skate park. Kevin spent 3.5 months at Craig Hospital rehabbing a traumatic brain injury after he crashed in practice and it nearly killed him. He's in town for the premiere of an HBO documentary movie on his life and comeback called The Crash Reel. It airs Monday night. It shows how Kevin and his family fought through this devastating time. Great story coming up this weekend on SBX, and here's a clip.
I think there's a huge message I can tell people about, coming back and how you really can recover from whatever you're put through. And I think that's a huge one. I'm a living example of that. And so to be able to speak to people and, show them clips of this movie and be like, look at where I was and, look what I've been able to do. I think that's, going to be really important.
He has since gotten back on the board, not competitively, but at least is doing what he loves, and the movie looks like it's going to be awesome.
Got some great treatment while he's here in Denver. Yeah.
Great attitude, too. Yeah. Thank you, Lionel.
Quiet tonight, hot tomorrow, and for the next couple of days with mid-90s, upper 90s, and only a scattering of showers and storms until early next week.
Upper 90s. Growl. All right.
Jimmy Kimmel is up next.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Download the 7 News app for your phone now. Watch our live newscasts, get breaking news throughout the day, and your 24/7 weather forecast from Mike Nelson. 7 News, your news leader.
All new. Summer is now officially upon us. There's one way